My name is Nicholas Ngige.
My name is Sebastian.
I am Panavi. I'm Grace Maringanga. I'm Ruth.
Diane Stevenson.
Jen McGaddy.
Samuel Kadewa.
Christina Vivid.
Safi Uizeye.
Jaja Uizeye.
Agatha Kinethia.
Faiza.
Dr. John Mwangi.
My name is DeAndrea Weeks, and I am with Virginia for Africa.
I am with Vitendo for Africa.
And I am with Vitendo for Africa. And I am with
Vitendo for Africa.
I am with
I'm with
Vitendo for Africa.
About Vitendo for Africa. As they have introduced me, my name is Alan Kagarama. In 2013, I joined Vitendo for Africa first as a volunteer. Then 3 years after, in 2016, I became one of the board member, board director, as the vice chairperson of the organization. So Vitendo for Africa starts as a non-profit organization serving first a small community of people coming from Kenya, living in the north part of St. Louis. Then the organization has grown, now become serving mostly a lot of African community within the St. Louis city and St. Louis County. You've seen a lot of work that has been done through the leadership of Geoffrey, who's the chairperson and the CEO, the president of this organization. Geoffrey has built a lot of trust, and since the start, with humility, he keeps serving. We have seen a lot of connection that he has brought to the organization. Just recent year, we have established new partners such as St. Louis BWorks and SON, St. Louis Youth Jobs, Fort Zuma School District, Rockall School District, Limber School District, Washington University School of Medicine, City of Olivet, Principia School, Missouri Extension, Launch Codes, Global Arc, Rehema Education Fund, Mount Zion Church, Habitat for Humanity, Program for Elimination of Cancer Disparity. So, and remember when I started volunteering and when I joined the organization, we had to do a lot of work through serving through different area of services. And the past year has been really great. And here's some of the headline just before the COVID kick in. I'm talking about 2018 and 2019. We have said farewell to Kali McCartney, who took his post as the new US ambassador to Kenya. We welcome and settle 22 new families. 45 people received their citizenship. We had over 100 attendees at our health screening event. I remember when I started working, volunteering for the organization in 2013, we had only 30 attendees. So you can see that the number is triple and the number is still growing. 72 of our kids have benefit from dental screening. 45 women receive mammogram screening. We conduct culture competency training for Casa de Salud so they could begin providing healthcare service to African immigrants. 50 high school students participate in college visit, monthly meeting, and job readiness training. 23 youth were hired through St. Louis Youth Job, St. Louis Zoo, Magic House, including my own daughter who had opportunity to work for BWorks, for Boys Hopes and Girl Hopes in summer before going to Rutgers University in Kansas City. The youth program has helped her a lot, and today she is one of the leaders at her university. 21 teams participate in STEAM program by BWorks and MU extension program. And at some point, we had also the community and the organization got the American Public Health Association in Philadelphia. We had also begun an exciting new project with Washington University School of Medicine to better understand, believe about TB and provide health education. These are numbers are real and amazing. So Vitendo for Africa keep growing, and we are doing tremendous work under the leadership of Geoffrey. In addition to learning about American and its system, last years we had done even more to share our culture with others. For example, our children perform culture dance at a total of 15 schools spread across St. Louis and St. Charles County. And we had also the Kenyan Kid exhibit at Magic House was also epic, which attracts many immigrants and non-immigrants. The exhibit recently went to Kansas Discovery Center in Topeka, and we keep traveling. If it was not the COVID-19, we could the exhibit could go all over across the United States. So just to give you a little bit background and just to tell you what the organization is doing, and the organization is growing, and we keep doing connection, and we still need your support and your help so that we can continue providing service and quality service to all the immigrants here in St. Louis. I thank you all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is a lot of achievement and a lot of milestones that Vitendo has achieved the last few years. St. Louis African Chamber, Shagun, is it you or is it Linda? And you're on mute. Okay.
Yes, I'll be presenting that today. Thanks for having me, Zalafa, and thanks for those of you who are here. Those of you who are familiar with who I am, I'm Shagun Babalola. I'm the president of the St. Louis African Chamber of Commerce. And I briefly just wanted to just explain what we do, who we are, and looking forward to creating new partnerships with those of you here today. The St. Louis African Chamber of Commerce was formed actually while I was at the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership. So and it's full circle that today we're having a presentation by the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership in collaboration with the Mosaic Project. There was a need for an organization that was going to address some of the economic disparities between the African community and the broader St. Louis community. So the St. Louis African Chamber of Commerce's main purpose is to provide a network of African professionals, business owners, and those engaged in business throughout the continent of Africa for the economic development of the St. Louis region and its population. So, our vision is really to become the premier resource and leading advocate for African business professionals in the local and international markets. And how we tend to do this is by creating contacts, develop business resources, forums where information and ideas are shared. So we do normally have our monthly networking events that we host. Obviously, during the COVID period, we've been doing that online as of now. But the idea is for people to meet each other, those who have common goals and common objectives in terms of helping the African immigrant population economically, and also doing business on the continent of Africa. We also are here to advance entrepreneurial and professional development among our members. And we provide expertise through some of our partners. We refer individuals to programs through WashU and through obviously the Mosaic Project itself and the Economic Development Partnership. So an event like this today is an example of some of the resource sharing and hopefully can even lead to entrepreneurship development further down the line. And then we also, our last other objectives is promoting bilateral trade and investment relationships between the St. Louis region and Africa. We also noticed that there was a gap when it comes to trade between Africa and the St. Louis region. And we believe that the immigrant population and those already doing business with the continent were best equipped to making this happen and growing that sector. And what other platform will be great for that? It would be the African Chamber of Commerce. So we've been able to achieve a few things since we were founded. We did have a trade mission to Ghana in 2019, and we were hoping to have another one in 2020, but due to the COVID, that could not happen. And this year, it doesn't seem like it will be happening, but we are still hosting forums and networking events with those on ground on the continent of Africa. We also partnered with incubators and accelerator programs in the St. Louis region to be able to provide our entrepreneurs and professionals who are members of the chamber access to resources and technical assistance. So that's the main purpose of the chamber. And we're hoping that, like I said, this event is also another tool in the box. And we're hoping that going forward, we will actually have people participate in these events and be able to tap into the resources that St. Louis is able to offer our members. So thank you for letting me present on that.
All right, very good. That is definitely in line with what we will be talking about today. And so very good. So for our speakers, the audience today is comprised of immigrants, mainly from Africa, but other parts as well. Looking at most of them, because I seem to know maybe 85% of them, they are entrepreneurs of one way or the other, either full entrepreneurs or part-time or other. So this would be a very good information to share. So this business forum was put together by St. Louis Mosaic Project Suzanne Sierra, and invited the guests from St. Louis Economic Development to come and share specifically to us immigrants on the resources available for entrepreneurs and business holders and other. So Suzanne is a senior program manager at the St. Louis Mosaic Project, and she focuses primarily on taking the goals and leading the goals of St. Louis Mosaic Project to make St. Louis the fastest growing immigrant city in 2025. And by the number of migrants coming to the metro area of St. Louis, I think that mission is moving faster and faster. And we really appreciate you, Suzanne, taking the time. I know you know the panel better because you invited them. But I'm gonna just share a little bit after talking to the panelists yesterday that Na Nguyen, who is with International Institute, and most of us are familiar with the International Institute. She's a director of economic development, and all the bios were shared to the public earlier on. That's why I'm not reading the bio, I'm just paraphrasing based on our communication yesterday. And she'll be talking, telling us more about the International Institute and how the International Institute helps, of course, immigrants, refugees, and foreigners coming to St. Louis. And by talking to her, I feel like I need to go to her class of bookkeeping. And, I think she's pretty good, and I think all of us will need some help there. So she'll be talking to us on that. Colleen, as well, is with the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership. She's a business advisor and connects entrepreneurs to resources. I mean, that's why we are here. So we can get connected to the resources that, a lot of them are out there that foreigners are not aware. And one of the things that makes us not be aware of those things is because when we come to the US, we are more focused on how do I get food on the table and how do I get shelter on the table, and kind of work, and forget about all these other facilities that available. So this is a very good forum. We are looking forward to it. I talked to Jeff Frankel, and I felt like this connected more at home because, most Africans, when they want to start a business, they go to uncles, aunties, and cousins and neighbors looking for money. And Jeff Frankel will be talking about raising funds from other platforms. So I will not take away from what Suzanne is going to say. I will let her take the lead on this. But I have a question that I want all the speakers to try and answer as you introduce yourself and what you do is, one, explain what you do and how you can help small businesses access resources. And number two, what is one misconception that small businesses have when it comes to scaling up? Suzanne.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Zalapan. Thank you, Jeffrey and Alan and Shagun and everybody who, or Nola, everyone who has joined us here. And so, at the start of the panel, when we were just sort of doing small talk, right? As people were coming in, and Jeffrey and I were talking, and he said, information is power. And that's exactly why I wanted to pull this information together. So as Zelipa said, I'm the senior manager, program manager with the St. Louis Mosaic Project. We are a regional initiative of the World Trade Center of St. Louis. And many of you may be familiar with the World Trade Center, you may not, but we are, the World Trade Center of St. Louis is one of 400 of World Trade Centers in 100 different countries. And so together, we are under the umbrella of the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, which is the economic development agency for the city of St. Louis and for the county. And so we collectively work on enhancing the economic development of businesses that are here. We want to attract and retain businesses and also individuals. And as Zelipa said, the goal of the Mosaic Project specifically is to transform St. Louis into the fastest growing major metropolitan area for immigration by the year 2025, and to add 25,000 new foreign-born to the region against the base in 2016. And we do that by these kinds of forums. We are connectors and we are conveners and we are information sharers. We have relationships and programs with the corporate community in St. Louis, with the universities. We provide information for international students that come here. They can choose to go to school anywhere and they choose to come to St. Louis. And we want those students to stay here. We work with companies that spend a lot of money to relocate talent here from other countries. And we have programs that help the spouses and the families really acclimate and get to know St. Louis. And then, of course, we work with entrepreneurs. And so, we're not a deep service provider, but the question that Zelipa asked, which is how can we help? We can help by giving you access to information that you may not know existed. And that's exactly why we chose to bring this panel together. The St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, as you'll hear from Colleen and Zach and from Jeff, and also with our community partner now, we have several economic development tools that can help you with financing, incubators and things like that. So I would say that a misconception of, maybe an immigrant small business person or entrepreneur is that they can't do it, that they don't have the resources, that they don't know who can help them. And we're here to change that perception and to say we are a fabulous resource for you. And I'll just end by saying that the mission and the work that I do at Mosaic is it's very gratifying, and I have a personal connection to it. My parents are both from South America, and they came to the United States about 50 years ago, and they knew no one. And so I understand the difficulty, the challenges. My dad arrived, he and my mom, at 4 a.m. on a bus. He was going to interview at a hospital. He could not communicate with the hotel staff. He wanted an iron to iron his tie, and he ended up putting it under the mattress. And he went to the interview the next morning. So those are the kinds of things that all immigrants go through. They just want to make it. And so I'm just so thrilled that I have a small role in helping all of you connect. And so I'm thrilled with the turnout, and I hope you'll take advantage of all of us being here to ask us lots of questions of how we can specifically help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As Suzanne says, if you have any questions, please, we're going to have a session for Q&A at the end. You can post the questions on the chat to everyone or to me directly. I'm going to ask it, but we have a time that we're going to all open up for questions. So thank you, Suzanne. Nya, you're next.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I also want to say thanks to the African Vitendo and the Mosaic Project for making this opportunity become available. So my name is Nhã Nguyen, and I am the Director of the Economic Development at the International Institute of St. Louis. The International Institute actually already founded since 1919, so we just celebrated our 100th anniversary 2 years ago. The agency has been we have been serving more than 6,000 refugees and immigrants on average per year from 75 countries. We work on several projects to bring the community together, such as I think that you already heard about the Festival of Nations. We also have the cultural competency training, so that really improved awareness in the community and also bring us more partnership and give more referral to the people that we serve. And we do provide on our core services, we do provide many different programs depend on the needs of the immigrants and refugees, such as like resettlement, ESL classes, social services, job placement, career pathway, and even the support to the human trafficking victims. And everything or anything that you can think of for a person who speaks zero English in a new country, and that person have no one to rely on. So when our clients have passed that survival state and eventually thriving and looking to engage and contribute in the local community, we have the Economic Development Department, where I myself have been focusing on for over the last 10 years. Our economic development is CDFI certified by the federal government, and that means we specialize in serving the minority community and the people of the color. We can loan up to $50,000 to immigrant and refugee businesses in St. Louis, and our department has funded more than 600 businesses until now. You know that immigrants are 60% more likely to start a business, so with that, it's become very important for us to create an ecosystem for small businesses and have the approachable program for young entrepreneurs. The clients that enroll in our programs, not only just for the financial funding, but they will also receive many other assistance as well, like financial educations, credit repairs, the legal support, to set up the business and license their business. They will receive the business consulting from our specialists, receive the training for the practical knowledge, information and connection to become self-sufficient and more profitable. We guide our client actually in everything. It can be something as basic as setting up the Square payment system, open the social media account, or bookkeeping, which is Salipa already mentioned. We also have the free tax filing services and having the opportunity for many businesses to promote themselves as well. For example, our team, we created the dinner pop-up program and become very popular in the local St. Louis. This happens every Wednesday, where the caterers and the restaurant can make very good sales and at the same time introduce their businesses, introduce their traditional cuisine to the neighborhoods. They can also use our commercial kitchen completely free of charge. And we also have the festival or the bazaars or the holiday events for the retail vendors and the handmade crafters to participate in as well. So with that said, we want to provide all the necessary tools and resources for our clients' business to ultimately scale up. become bankable and qualify for the significant funding investment from the mainstream financial institution. And because of my own personal story, so I'm very passionate and very enjoy working with immigrant community. I am the first generation immigrant from Vietnam, actually. So I understand and experience myself the challenges that immigrants have been facing. I came here when I was 25 years old by myself alone, and I work very hard, 3 jobs, but sometimes, I have to pay for my mistake with the term of time and my hard-earned money just because I don't know about the credit system for not knowing about the asset building or the financial investment, etc. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I want to really make myself available for our fellow immigrants in their American journey. And together we can create a trusted, reliable place for our community and for the people that we work with. It's very easy to access our services. Just give us a call at 314-773-9090. I will put the information in the chat. Just call and then mention with the receptionist that you want to speak with the economic development. I also will drop the email in the chat box as well. And just mention to us what we did. We will try to make our best to reach out to you, to make it available for you. People coming to us, we don't want to give any no. We want to make all the way everything available and ready for you to scale up. And with the misconception, the question about the misconception when the small business owners want to scale up, I think is they don't have a credit, and they have been received a lot of no from the bank. So that's why they were shy, and they was very hesitated to reach out, and they think that they have to do everything themselves. But actually, yes, if they don't have the credit, it's difficult to work with the bank for now. But we have the whole big community in St. Louis, like my organization. We are there to help you build your credit to become a bridge between the bank and you. So we want to provide all the things that are available and get you ready to step up and graduate from our program, and get the help from the bankers and many other local investors as well. So I think just immigrant to do it. You don't have to do everything by yourself or alone. We are here for you. So make sure to reach out and to talk about what you need and ask for it.
Well, great. That is music to our ears, because we like to do everything and struggle, scratch pennies. I think just knowing that there is resources available, training and funding, this is really
Zalipa, you on mute?
I am not on mute.
No?
I can hear.
I can't hear what you're saying. So.
Oh, okay. No, I can hear. Everybody can hear?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
All right.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying it is very good to know that there are resources, and for this audience to know there's resources available within the International Institute and other places. So, Zach, I know you have something to share. I'll let you go first, and then I will move on to Colleen and Jeff. So, Zach Folk.
Yeah, so I work with the Business Finance Department at the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership. And we also, like the International Institute, have a bunch of different loan programs. A lot of them are revolving loan funds that can go as low as about $10,000 up to about $150,000 to potentially up to $300,000 that can help with a bunch of different business needs for those who are just starting up or those who've been established for a long time. And we also work a lot primarily with an SBA program called the SBA 504, where we help fund fixed assets like equipment and real estate. So I think also a good misconception to dispel with that, with immigrants, a lot of we get a lot of questions on if they would even be applicable to apply for federal programs because they're not a U.S. citizen. That's something that they actually still can do, even if it's a federal program. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you can still apply for those. So they're all really good and really there to be helpful for immigrant entrepreneurs and even those who have established businesses. So, and if you're not quite ready yet for that financing, kind of like Na said, like we've got resources either at the International Institute or what Colleen and Jeff are going to talk about here shortly to help you get to that point.
All right. Great. Thank you. More resources available, more money available. Questions are starting to come in, so I think there'll be lots of questions. Keep sending them to me. You can send them to me directly, or you can put them on the chat. I will now transition to Colleen Mulvihill.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm Colleen Mulvihill. I'm an SBDC, or Small Business Development Center, business counselor and coach advisor, and I work with Zach and Suzanne and Jeff at the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership as a small business development manager. So I'm really excited to share some of these resources that we offer through, especially the SBDC, as far as you know, what we offer to entrepreneurs in St. Louis City and St. Louis County is one-on-one counseling and training events, lots of different opportunities to learn all about starting or scaling up or, you know, accessing these different things that you're going to need as an entrepreneur, like finance. So some of those things include that I can work with you on a one-on-one basis is, you know, getting your business plan in order. I work closely with Zach and Jeff to help folks get prepared to go in front of a lender. So working on your business plan and your finances, your projections, those kinds of things I can help with. And then also connecting you to, you know, really, I think it's all about connecting entrepreneurs to each other as well as these different resources. So that's a big part of, you know, I consider a big part of my job is being a connector. So, and as far as like the training events that the SBDC offers, we go across the board with different things. And of course, now they're all virtual, like this meeting is, so it's easy to access. Most of them are free. They're on all different business topics, you know, just how to start your business, how to, you know, learning about the financial statements and what's important. I have even some HR information sessions coming up soon. So as a small business owner, learning how to, you know, have a staff of people, hiring, retaining, and all of that good stuff. So, so those are some of the things that we do. The SBDC is funded in part by the SBA, the Small Business Administration, on the federal level. And then also we work through the University of Missouri-Columbia Business Extension. So I have access to a statewide group of counselors with different expertise, including exporting and different topics that, you know, if I can't help you, I can certainly reach out and hopefully find you some really great resources. So as far as the misconception, I think we're kind of following a pattern here, but I was thinking too that it's, you know, you're not limited. And I think it's challenging for entrepreneurs, small business owners, when you are, you know, you've got your head down and you're working, you know, to make a living every day. So kind of keeping your mind open to possibilities and understanding that there are resources out here for you to, you know, to do some of that pivoting, some diversifying, some adding revenue streams, and not just kind of settling into what you do day to day, that there is opportunity for growth and scaling up, and there's lots of resources, and we have an amazing entrepreneurial ecosystem and community in St. Louis. Thank you. And I will definitely have my email. You can contact me directly if you're interested in, you know, kind of connecting as an SBDC client and looking at what events we have and signing up for some coaching, some advising.
Great. Thank you, Colleen. Really appreciate it. Every time you see me bedding down is a question that has come in, so I have questions coming in. All right.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of all this stuff. Does anybody know how?
It's okay. We can just do it like this. This should be big enough.
Okay.
So yes, Jeff Frankel. I work with everybody on this call at the partnership. I provide or manage a platform that could be used as a financial resource for startups and small businesses to access capital in a new and unique way. So I'll start with kind of giving a background of how this is all possible, and then we'll kind of run into or roll into what our role is with Invested, the platform that we manage. And then I'll kind of come into the details at the end with some case studies. So the second slide on here is just telling you, this is the industry that we're operating within. Back in 2012, there was a Jobs Act that was passed, the Jumpstart our Business Startups Act. And a couple of years later, in 2016, there's a specific regulation that was passed that allows you to raise money from the general public through the internet. So this is nothing really new when you talk about crowdfunding as a whole, because I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with GoFundMe or Kickstarter. Well, this kind of takes it to a whole new level where small businesses and startups can offer a real investment opportunity to the people that are giving them money, whether that be ownership in your business or whether that be a discount on services going forward or something like that. So it's a unique and new kind of elevated way to raise money from your followers, your customers, and just the general public. So on this slide, the next slide, this kind of gives you some stats about where the industry has come in just the few short years that we've had it in place. So there's been a little over $500 million that's been raised in the industry over the last 5 years. Average amount per raise, just to give you an idea of what companies are usually raising through platforms like Invested. It's about $250,000. It takes about 3 to 6 months to raise that money. The average success rate is about 65 to 70%. And the average company age they're pretty early on in the process. It is geared towards startups, but seasoned small businesses can use it as well. Community-based businesses, coffee shops, bookstores, whatever it may be, can use this as well. It's not just reserved for like high growth startups. And then the next slide on here kind of just outlines the 3 different types of crowdfunding. As I see it, there's the donation-based that a lot of people are probably familiar with GoFundMe, where people are giving money to a cause or an organization, but they're not really expecting anything in return, right? The next stage is rewards-based, where that's the Kickstarters and the Indiegogo platforms. That's where it's real companies raising money, usually to like make the first run of a product or something. In return, you usually get a future version of that project or product, right? And then this next level of crowdfunding is kind of where we slot in. This is where Invested is. It's securities based. So again, you're offering a real investment opportunity to the folks that are giving you money. And so then the next slide just outlines where Invested kind of what our role is, right? So why are we doing this? So the St. Louis Partnership has a myriad of resources, and so do our partners in the St. Louis ecosystem. But we identified that there was a gap in small business and startup financing opportunities. It's either friends or family or angel investors, or if you were lucky, venture capital firms. And then otherwise, you have to go the traditional routes to banks. But there's a lot of hiccups with banks, especially being an early stage business. Maybe you don't have enough owner equity, and maybe you don't have enough collateral to put up against the loan, and a couple other reasons, right? Well, Invested is a way, again, for you to connect with potential investors. But the unique thing about it is you set your own terms. You, the business owner, decide how much money you want to raise, how much of your business you want to give away, or how much interest rate you want to pay out to people. that are giving you money. So it's very unique in that way. It's a way to leverage your existing community as well. So if you already have a base of customers or followers on like email lists or social media or whatever it may be, it's your customers are probably the most likely people to invest in your business. And then the other big ticket item here is that you're able to raise awareness for your brand and build, just market your business at the same time that you're raising money, which is pretty unique opportunity. And overarching, it's really just trying to bring the crowd together and engage them on a universal platform so that, the general public can know what's going on in their community. They know what businesses are raising money or what projects are happening around them. And it gives you the ability to engage and crowdsource information as well and get feedback from those folks in the community about what you're doing. And so the next slide just outlines, who can raise funds through this industry or a platform like Invested. And really it comes down to any for-profit company can really raise funds through this industry. It's eligible for most industries. And what I mean by most industries is you can't be a sin business by federal regulations. So right now that means you can't be recreational marijuana. You can't do like gambling facilities, liquor stores, things like that. But otherwise, it's pretty much open to anybody that's a for-profit, and companies raising, anywhere from $50,000 upwards to $5 million. So it's a pretty big range. And then the next slide just kind of outlines who can invest. It's anybody. Anybody that's 18 years or older, has a checking account, and is a U.S. citizen can invest in your business. And so anybody, regardless of their income or their net worth, can invest up to $2,200 per year, whether that all be in your business or across multiple businesses. When you're talking about the more accredited investors, more like seasoned, experienced folks that usually invest in startups, there's no limit to how much they can put into your business. And then the last point is more so a technicality where, some people fear that if you're raising money from a lot of people, you're gonna have a whole lot of investors, to have to manage. Well, there's a unique structuring capability within this industry to kind of put everybody together into one entity, and that one entity then invests in your business. Just kind of keeps things clean. And then the last slide, just kind of giving you a quick case study. So we've had 2 businesses that have been successful on the platform, which are right here on the slide. We have one that's currently out there right now too, raising money. But these 2 here are our first 2 successful ones. One of them is Wellbeing Brewing, the top one. They're a non-alcoholic craft beer company, so they're a consumer-facing business. They raised about $200,000 in about 3 months, averaging $2,600 per investment. So some people are putting up $100, some people are putting up several $1,000s. In this case, somebody put up $40,000 in this campaign. So the interest kind of ranges, right? You want to make a campaign that's very relatable to the general public or your consumers. And then the next one, Pluton Biosciences, I put this one up here too because you don't have to be a consumer-facing business selling a direct product or service to an end customer, right? Pluton is more of a business-to-business company where they're identifying solutions or micro solutions in like soil, making it into products like insecticides and things like that, and they're selling it to like big research firms like Johnson & Johnson, and to actually develop into an end product that you, the end user, in the retail store buy. So basically what I'm trying to say is almost any type of business can really get on the platform, raise money from the general public. You just have to have a very relatable story. And so I'll kind of cut it off there just to keep it short and sweet, and we can go to questions for everybody now. Oh, and the misconception, I forgot to mention that. So I would say 2 things really. So to piggyback on some of the other discussions that's already been had, it really is a whole community here in St. Louis. So if you ever feel like you're alone, you really aren't. I mean, there's so many resources out there. You just may not know what they are, where they are, or who can provide them to you. So just kind of keep networking, keep asking questions among your community, and eventually you'll get there. We're all in this together. Small businesses and startups are the backbone of any community. And then the other kind of tidbit I always say is don't be afraid to bring an incomplete product to market. But don't be afraid. Don't make it perfect, right? It doesn't need to be perfect before you bring it to market, because oftentimes the best feedback you're going to get is from the people that are using your early stage products. That's really when you develop it into what's going to be attractive, right, to the overarching market.
All right. Great information there on sourcing funds on alternative ways. So thank you. So we are going to open the floor now to questions. There's a few that came in. One that was the general public, general attendees is what Na has responded to. Somebody was asking a question on how to register a business. I know now you've answered that, but just go ahead and talk it out for a minute.
So there's a question in the chat asking about how to register the business, even if they have to go through the federal, the state, or the city or the county. So we usually should guided our client to use the online where they can register for the tax ID with the federal, register for LLC with the state, or getting the licensing or the certification with the city themselves. But if the client have the limits and cannot do it themselves, we usually connect our client with our partner. They are the Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, which is LSEM. And usually the attorney will go into our office and meet the client that have the appointment, and they will check the client from there to help them register and make sure they are good to go.
All right.
Actually, you don't have to go through us. You definitely can just Google LSEM and contact them directly. And I think definitely they will have the attorney or representative to be there to help you as well.
All right. And so since you're talking, I'm going to ask the next question to you. The International Institute, on the services that they provide, is it only for refugees and immigrants who came and registered at the International Institute, or is any immigrant who is in the St. Louis? And while you answer that question, you can couple it with a question that was going to everybody. We're talking about St. Louis Metro. Is that St. Louis County, or is it, what does that cover when you say St. Louis Metro?
Oh, okay. Thanks, Oliver.
Yeah.
No, we don't just serve the clients that resettle through us or through our channel. We serve every foreign-born, as long as they are resident to St. Louis metro areas. And by St. Louis metro, actually the area is really big. There's some part from East St. Louis or St. Clair in Illinois, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and go over to St. Charles or St. Peter. We serve the whole region of St. Louis metro.
Okay, very good. The next question goes either to Colleen or Jeff. It's about what are the requirements for the to qualify for a loan with the Economic Development Partnership Programs?
Which program is that?
What are the requirements to qualify for any of the loans or services that or the loan programs? I think this was to Colleen or any of the speakers.
For Zach.
Well, Zach knows about the loans.
Zach, probably.
Yeah. So it's a little bit difficult to necessarily give the exact requirements because we try to look at every application as a whole. We try to consider a ton of different factors when we're trying to approve, but a lot of what we do look at is more in line with what a bank would look at. We just don't have as high of credit standards as far as the approval. As long as you have a business, you're current with taxes, you have all your licenses up to date and everything with that, we'll try to work with you on the specifics of if you qualify for one of our programs. I will work with you trying to figure out how you can either improve that or refer you over to Colleen to work through the details of your business and improve it to get to the point where you do or you can qualify for credit. So it's a little bit broad, but that's kind of why we set it up that way, so we can work with a multitude of different types of businesses for the different programs that we work with.
Okay, all right, very good. I have another question for you that came through. I know Suzanne mentioned about immigrants are 60% likely to start a business. And I'll say Africans are more than 95% likely to start a business. And when the migrants come here, they come, mainly as green card holders, students, and then they work their way to get in citizenship. Now, your programs, any of the programs, does everybody have to have gained citizenship, or do you work with green card holders as well and students?
Yeah, so you do need a green card or some sort of permanent residence to be able to use the programs. It's a little bit more paperwork for somebody who isn't a U.S. citizen, but we can work with anybody who has a green card. I'm blanking on the exact name of that form off the top of my head, but there's a couple different forms that we use as far as showing out that permanent residency.
Okay, I'm going to open there. Please unmute yourself if you have a question. I know Ali Nola, you had a question earlier. Even if he has a question, please unmute and ask the questions. I still have a few more here, but let me first give it to the attendees to ask.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I know somebody asked a question about starting a business, and I thought it's a good idea to also hear some of our great presenters talk on getting an occupancy permit, because that's an interesting process. And if you're thinking of starting a business and getting a place, a location for your business, you have to go through that process of getting an occupancy permit before you can move in and start running your business from that location.
I wanted to also mention here, this might be a good segue. We have another colleague who was not able to join us, but the partnership also offers site selection. And so if anybody is looking for warehouse space or office space or a building, if you are able to provide specifics on the square footage and what your needs are for that building, we can help you with that information. And so if you would like to get in touch with me if that's a need, and then I can share that with Christopher Michael, is the person on our team who handles that.
Awesome, thank you.
Madam Moderator.
Yes, John.
Oh, me? Thank you. Thanks to Jeff as well. And Jeff of Nintendo, and he's doing a great job. Fascinating. And thanks to the speakers too. I'm greasing their head now. But otherwise, to Jack, your program is phenomenal. My question is a little bit, I don't know how to, but I have a group of marginalized women in Africa, to be specific, in the Gambia. And these are such that the government, no agencies will help. They are what we call hand to mouth, and yet they're talented in business. So I've got them together. But of course, I don't have the money, I don't have the funds. So how can you help me? Or would this be a personal matter to Jack specifically?
Yeah, I think we'd probably have to talk through a little bit more details to figure out specifics on that. I wouldn't be able to answer it, at least with just that, unfortunately.
Can you send me your contact?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll put my email and cell phone number.
And also send it to I'm not very versatile. You can send it to my good friend, Jeffrey of Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Thanks, Madam Moderator.
So yeah, great. I mean, the contacts are going to be shared on the chat so that individuals can all follow up, because every one of us will have specific needs that the speakers will not be able to share here. So please, let's follow up. Let's keep them busy. That's why they came to us, and it's very rare, very, very rare that you find this kind of forum where it's focusing on us, the immigrants. This is really exciting, particularly as far as businesses are concerned. If there's any one place that entrepreneurs drive at is on business, and knowing that we have support. I see Neo there shaking her head, is good. So another question, any other question on the chat? Anybody on the attendees? Anybody has a question? You can please unmute yourself.
Yes, I have another question, if you don't mind, Moderator Zalepa. I mean, everyone here spoke really well, and one of the things that we struggle with, and the Mosaic project is helping out a lot with that, is information sharing and getting the knowledge we need to run an effective business. So if there's any workshop or any forum like this that it's going on, I just encourage our presenters to share with Jeff or Zipa or the African Chamber of Commerce, because they would definitely pass it on to the rest of us.
And I wanted to mention that we are holding regular sessions for entrepreneurs through Venture Cafe. I don't know if any of you have attended those in-person events pre-COVID, but now, of course, everything is virtual. But we're planning two that I think will be very interesting and perhaps helpful for entrepreneurs. One is we're going to be offering somebody who is trained to talk about Google's business services. It's called Grow with Google. And the first session in April will be about using YouTube to promote your business. And then another session that we're planning in May will be specifically about how to do business on Amazon and all of the logistics in terms of setting yourself up as a vendor, how to brand yourself, etc. So what I always do is when we coordinate these webinars, I share them with Jeffrey and all of our ethnic chambers, and we post them on our social media. So I just want to put those both sort of in your minds and look for more information, and I hope that you can all attend that.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I have another question, and this is actually coming from me. Any of the speakers can comment a bit on, so there's these resources and grants that are being availed by the federal government because of the pandemic. And I was wondering if any of you can comment on the PPP loans and grants, the EIDL, if any of you can comment on those.
I can add a little bit. So yeah, we have, through the SBDC and the efforts of all of the statewide counselors, we've definitely assisted clients with getting the PPP and the EIDL loans and kind of navigating the SBA site to help with getting the applications in. So feel free to contact me. I put my email in there in the chat, but it was a little bit ago. So also that sbdc.missouri.edu, that's our website to to get registered as a client, or just contact me directly. I'll get you registered as a client, and we can work one-on-one together on your different questions.
Okay, very good. Any other question from anyone in the audience?
Yeah, I do. So I do have a question related to real estate. So I've worked with SBA in the past to get SBA loans. But what I wanted to know is, one of the issues that sometimes I face is the down payment, because like I'm dealing with bigger projects like commercial real estate. So for example, I wanted to know if any of your program would work with someone who is going to get an SBA loan and they need another additional loan to raise the down payment. Does any of your programs work in that situation?
Yeah, so with an SBA loan, especially if you're purchasing real estate with the SBA 504 program, you can borrow the down payment. It just has to be subordinated to the SBA loan. So it has to be come in a third lien position behind the bank and then the SBA. So it is possible to do that. Unfortunately, we cannot combine any of our other programs for borrowing that down payment because with an SBA loan, there's a limit as far as how much you can actually utilize of government programs, and using both an SBA loan and another loan for the down payment goes over that limit. So it gets a little bit of kind of a creative financing to figure stuff like that out, but it is a potential possibility.
Okay. I don't know about the other organizations if that doesn't work for them as well.
Well, I would just add, this is Jeff with Invested. I mean, if you have time, if you can plan it out for several months, you could potentially raise equity through Invested for your project to serve as your down payment on a loan. It would just take a while, and it's not guaranteed, right? So you put a goal out there, you want to raise $100,000 for a down payment, you may not hit that. So it's always nice to have a plan B per se, but it's possible. So we could talk about that at another time if you'd like.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We at the International Institute, we don't really ask for the down payment or the equity on the loan, although if you have at least 20%, that would be great. But otherwise, we can check over your assets or your network. Like, for example, you have equity on the home or the car, and we can count that at the network that you already have, and we provide the loans on the business.
And would that be, will you be providing, say, 80% of the loan, or then I have to you provide? I'm kind of confused. Like you'll be providing 80% and I provide 20%. How does that work?
So if you have 20%, it could be very easy to be approved. But if you have don't have anything yet, but you do have the net worth, right? Like, for example, you just bought a house, you have some equity in that, and we can count that you have some net worth already, and we can provide you with up to 100% of the loans as well. And especially, like, let's just say the loans you use to buy the equipment or the businesses, and the business the value can go over the loan that we lended to you. That also a very good point adding to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's another program that we can talk about as well afterwards, depending on the size of your project, especially if it's real estate based. It's a program called New Markets Tax Credits, and you could lend up to 100% of the project costs. Really good loan to values and all that good stuff. So we can talk about that too. The big factor with that is the project needs to be in what's considered a low income community by either the poverty or the median income. Percentages for that whole area. So we can look up the location of your project, and if it fits, we can continue that conversation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, those are all good questions. Any other question? We have a minute or so for another final question. How many SBA loans can one business qualify at a time?
Sorry, could you say that again?
There's a question on the chat that asks, how many SBA loans can one business qualify for at a time?
So at a single time, with SBA programs, you can get up to $5 million within a 90-day period. So it's a pretty sizable amount. It's a little bit harder to try to get that credit approval, especially based upon like the ability to service the debt that's being taken on. So it kind of depends, but the most that can be received within a 90-day period is $5 million from the SBA.
Okay, very good. There's a question here, and I think this is going to be answered by Colleen. If one has a business idea and business plan, what would ideally be the next step?
Meet with them.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting distracted with this view here.
What would be the next step to register it? Okay, I think there was a second part to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So to register the business with the state of Missouri, is that what the question is?
I would believe so, because this was the follow up to the question of how do you register a business.
Yeah, go ahead. Who was asking that question? Is that Fred?
Zach and Colin, do you guys only service existing business with only, or you service also new businesses?
New businesses, even if you're in the idea stage and you're, trying to get started, where do you start? Yeah, I can definitely assist with at whatever level you're at. If you're, again, just in the idea stage, you're just getting started. If you're in a growth phase or stage of your business.
Okay. Even if, okay. I'm on a confused phase right now, so.
And on that note, I wanted to tell you something else. Again, we are all about, Mosaic and the partnership, receive information from a lot of other entrepreneurial support organizations. And there is a free ideation seminar, and I will send you the information about that. If I can find it, I'll post it in the chat. But it is exactly for what you mentioned, Fred, somebody who may just have an idea. And what they do is, this is a scientifically proven approach to really helping you figure out what problem are you trying to solve for. And it's offered every month, and it's a 2-Saturday program, and I think there's one coming up in April. So I'll send that to you. But even people that already have a business, if they just want to refine the idea or confirm that that they're solving for an existing problem, I think it would be a very helpful forum. So I'll try to find that and put it in the chat here before we wrap up.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. That's a very good idea, because sometimes the business have the idea already or have the business plan, but maybe not enough funding, where to get the inventories, who will be the target clients, something like that. So maybe I think it will be the best way to contact any business specialist first before registering the business.
So, question for Guyenne, Ms. Guyenne.
Yes.
Do you guys provide like a demographic of target area, if I'm looking for more, to put a business plan together? Let's say I want to know the number of foreigners that lives in this type of zip code. Do you guys have like a database for that?
We don't have that skill, but we do have the connection with the library. We know the staff over there. And usually when we need any census data or the population or demographic of the area, we usually contact and try to get that, because most of the time our clients, they cannot complete the business plan themselves, and our staff spend a lot of time to guide them and sometimes have them looking for the information. So that's what we're doing, though we don't do it there ourselves, but we do have the connection to provide those information for us.
All right. Do you have another question from anybody in the Zoom?
I may have one more question for Jeff.
Jeff Franco or Jeff?
Jeff Franco. Yeah, I like Jeff Franco's style of you don't have to be complete with the business to start it. So my question is this: when you invest in a business, is there a interest you get back, or is just a goodwill investment?
So the resource that I manage for the partnership, I'm not actually investing, or we're not investing in your business. It's more of a website for you to put your business up there, say what you're doing, what you want to do, and the money you need to get there. And then people from the general public will come to the website, they'll relate to what you're doing, and then they'll choose to make an investment or not. So it's the general public that's actually investing in your business, not us, not the partnership.
So the security now, the security from the investment, how do the return, how do they get it back?
Yeah, so it's up to you, the business owner, to set that up. Do you want to give up, ownership in your business? So the potential investors will have a piece of the business, right? And so they'll get a return by, distributions of profits or whatever in the future. Or, if you could set up as a loan where you're charging, or issuing 5% interest every year, just kind of up to you how you want to structure it. It's got to be fair, right? It has to be like an opportunity that people want to invest in. But yeah, it's up to you to set it up.
That's only for profit business, only for profit, not only for profits.
For-profit businesses, but there are platforms where you can crowdfund for nonprofits.
Okay.
There's actually a local platform called Gratitude that does that. I think it's GLADITOOD. Yeah, Gratitude. We could share that afterwards, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yep.
Jeff. Very good information.
I put in the chat the information about the ideation seminar, and it is free. So hopefully some of you will sign up.
All right, one last call for any question. This was very, very, very good information. I mean, all brought together at once. This is great. Any final question from the attendees?
Why not?
Yeah.
Last question for Ms. Guyen. I heard she said that they've financed over 6,000 business, if I'm right.
No, 600 business for over the last 10 years.
For the last 10 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So on average, we serve about 55 businesses per year.
And what's the average financing each business get?
Average, it will be $8,000 on each business. Some people qualify for 50,000. Some people are only asking for 35, and a lot of our clients only asking for $5,000 because they just want to get a car to do the delivery business, for example, or if they open childcare at home. So the amount can be very little to start with.
Okay.
Okay, very good. I think this is beneficial to all of us. I think I'm gonna just read the last. This will be the very, very last one. Would you reconnect exhausting your personal funds in a startup business? Does your credit count? It is on the chat.
I would not recommend that because usually the credit card charge up to 25%, that's very high, and usually our loan committee is not comfortable to see somebody pulling the fund from their credit card. So I would recommend that the small businesses save some money for your working capital just in case something happens.
I would also add with any type of small business loan that personal credit is almost most of the time more important than the business credit because it's a much more developed system than the business credit system, where business credit, we're just looking to make sure there's no late payments or any sort of like judgment or liens on your business, whereas the personal credit really gives insight into your individual spending habits. And if you are somebody who makes your payments on time and does so pretty frequently. So it's a very important thing when applying for any type of credit that your personal credit score is good, even if you're applying for business loans.
All right, it's 20 minutes after 7. And this is a very, very, very last question. I'm going to ask the speakers to say one last thing about what your experience is, and this will be the closing remarks. What has been your experience working with immigrant entrepreneurs? Just, one word or one sentence. What's been your experience? Because, and I say this because most of me being one of them, most of us have gone to banks, general banks, and have been denied loans multiple times, even with superb credit. If you want to get a loan for business, we've been denied. Until not long ago, I knew of some of these services that you're talking about. So tell us, what are some of the experiences you had working with immigrant entrepreneurs?
I can go first if nobody wants to go. So one thing that make me feel really appreciated for what I'm working on is the relationship that we have with our clients. So a lot of people, usually for our program, we work toward the goal to make our client graduate from the program and move up to work with the bank or the financial mainstream. But a lot of clients choose to stay with us because they like the relationship that we have. And we also have many clients, many immigrants and refugees, when their business is struggling, they choose to pay our loan instead of paying their mortgage, although we not suggest them to do that, but because they value the relationship that they have with our staff so much. And they trust us completely 100%. And we feel that is something that really bring it back to us. It is something that's so emotional, so fulfilling for what we're doing, and we know that we're going to the correct direction on here.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, I would just add that the persistence and the drive that I've seen in the immigrant entrepreneurs I've worked with is like unmatched. And the appreciation for the resources that they receive is also unmatched. It's very rewarding to work with immigrant entrepreneurs.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I'll agree with that as well, Jeff. That's been my experience as well. And with the partnership has 4 business incubators. And I know that we've had very successful companies go through the incubators and, have their location there. And, it's just been a great experience to work with them.
Yes, gratitude and perseverance, grit. Oftentimes immigrant entrepreneurs they have no choice. They have to make their business work. And so it's it's humbling, and I'm just so honored to help, however we can. And I just want to also say we have, our role at Mosaic is to amplify your stories of success. And we have a section called Mosaic Stories. We've featured Aranola and Jeffrey, and we're always looking for the success stories to share. As Shagun, I know we've also highlighted, and probably some others here that I probably don't even, can't get through all the little squares here. But at any rate, just again, we are amplifiers of good news and information sharers. So, you have all of our contact info, and I will just reiterate to never hesitate to give us a call. And if I can't help you, I will absolutely find the person that can.
Madam Moderator, may I recommend that this that been said, can you translate that to President Biden?
This was being recorded, so he might get it.
Can you send me the recording?
You sure? You get it, yeah.
Okay, I'll follow up on that.
Yes, please. Zach, any final comment?
Yeah, I would just say ditto to what everybody else said, and also I'd like to work with more immigrant entrepreneurs. I don't think I do enough, considering just the entrepreneurship rate among immigrants. So I would always love to work with more.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much all for attending. Zelipa Gidoi. I am an entrepreneur here in St. Louis. Do real estate investing, real estate training. I'm an importer and wholesaler of African handcraft, and I also work for Bayer. So with that, I'm going to transition back to Geoffrey and Segun, if you have any final remarks. And thank you so much.
You know, we don't thank Jeff a lot. Jeff is just remarkable. I mean, I've worked with ethnic immigrants for many years. Jeff is very rare. And I think we should thank him for what he does and helping us, exposing us. Bravo to you, Jeff, my brother. I mean, Jeff on Nintendo. That's the Jeff I'm referring to. And if you recommend him to President Biden.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words, Dr. John Loom, and it's good that you have two Jeff. I just mentioned at the beginning, everybody who has a name Jeff must be a good guy, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So, but I want to say thank you so much. I would say that it is not me. Thank you for the recognition, but I would say that it's a team. You see all this, Zalipa is doing a great job. We have all this team of people, Alan and others, and also you. So we have a great team that is actually doing a lot to lift up the economy of the African community here in St. Louis, but also helping us to brand ourselves to be able to partake in St. Louis and all what's happening, but also in our general contribution to the economic growth of our region. I want to say thank you so much. You are great speakers. Thank you, Suzanne, for putting all this together. And thank you, Zalipa, for your great moderation. I'm listening to your the questions and all the chat here. I can see, and you all agree with me, that we need such forums. We need this information, great resources that is out there, and we have people who are looking for those resources, and we want to find a way how we can be able to connect those two, those who are looking for information and those who have that information. We want to bring them together, and that's how we grow our economy, because the information that is not being used or is not helping anyone, it's not doing anything. But when we're able to learn that information and learn those resources to the right people, then they will be able to help actually to grow our economy. I want to say, because of time, I want to share that there is, we do have great, we continue doing all these sessions on different topics to help us, our community, be able to be hooked up to the right resources that they need to grow. So for now, I want to invite you for share a little bit about the upcoming event also. And the way to find about our events, you just go to our events page on our website, vitendoforafrica.org. Click on the events. Today we had this business forum. And then on April 9, after you have all this great idea, you want to go see how you can be able to go business online. Build your business online, and we have it on with a great speaker on April 9. And then I'm glad you have had a very little introduction from Zalipa. I know she didn't share a lot, but if you want to know more about all those many hats that she wears, please log in or register on April 15th. We will have a Building Momentum speaker series. An idea that was born at Mosaic Project, and we've been doing great to help educate the St. Louis region about the work the African immigrants are doing here in St. Louis. If you have youth, let them join on us on April 17th. It's a Zoom meeting. And then on April 22nd, we'll be talking about the Black women in the corporate America. That's in partnership with the Delta Sigma sorority. And then our great that series that is coming up with the Links Incorporated, it's going to be on May the 20th. All this information is actually on our website, and you all need just to log in. They're free to join. But to make our organization strong and grow, we also ask you that you can always click this magic button and just do the necessary from there so that we can be able to continue impacting the community. Other than that, I'll say thank you so much. I thank you, Suzanne. I hope to continue with this great conversation and also the community. One thing I didn't want to forget, there is a vaccine that is going on. If you want to sign up for the vaccine, there is a couple of events that is going on in St. Louis this weekend. You can always just sign up, and I just put it on the chat there, and find out the, some of the areas that are closer to you. We also have a partnership with the Delwood Pharmacy. That is, they're doing a great job. So if you're interested, actually, even tomorrow, you can be able to go and get some vaccine. And then they will also have a great event on Saturday. All you just do is just log in and sign up. Or if you're interested, just give me a call and I can see how we can connect you. The best we can do is actually to first start protecting yourself and the people that you care. And that's how we'll be able to make our St. Louis safe and healthy. And when we are healthy, then we grow economy. We can't grow economy when we're sick. So the priority is your health. Thank you so much. And I wish you a very nice week. And hopefully we can connect again.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
My name is Nicholas Ngige.
My name is Sebastian.
I am Patavi. I'm Grace Mary Nganga. I'm Ruth.
Diane Stevenson. Jen Magadi. Sumioka Dewa.
Christina Vivid.
Safi Uizeye.
Jaja Uizeye.
Agatha Kinesia.
Faiza.
Dr. John Mwangi.
My name is DeAndrea Weeks, and I am with Virginia for Africa.
I am with Nintendo for Africa.
I am with Vitendo for Africa. And I am with
Vitendo for Africa.
I am with.
I'm with.
I am with.
I am with Vitendo for Africa.